Another wonderful thing.
It's
Yeah,
Tuesday. It's Tuesday. We're live. Hey.
we're live. Hey, hey, hello, hi. Okay.
Oh my gosh. It is so good to see you, Mr. Wamble.
Hey, it's good to be seen. I think. Yeah. Yay. Happy Tuesday.
Tuesday. It's the last Tuesday of the month and the slow approach to winter. Let's not do that. It was summer this weekend, but we'll talk about it right after this. Let's go. Hey, it's Talk on
Hey, happy
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Tuesday.
Talk on
Yeah.
Tuesday. That's what we do. We be talking on Tuesday.
And
I
this is
think
when Val gives the lineup and tells you everything you need to know, like the YouTube channel. She talks about the Facebook group and also that you can find interludes on LinkedIn and the Pure Lighthouse Media. And then Val talks about the Pod TV Roku channel right around this time. And then she reminds you that we have passed the 100 episodes mark. So that's all the things that Val will tell you at this point. All right, Val, go right ahead.
oh my gosh. Well, thank you.
Yay, go right
Thank you
ahead.
so much,
Hey,
Bud. Thank you for the if you guys are in the chat,
good.
go ahead and give us a shout. But thank you so very much. Become
Shout
a
out.
future guest. Become a future guest or sponsor of Interludes by booking time with us at linktr.ee/ pure light media. Michael, how was
Forward
your
slash.
weekend?
My weekend. My weekend. I don't know. I'm about to find out how my weekend was in maybe an hour or so. I'll know for sure. I was working on some things with some students that took me into most of the weekend, and now
Mhm.
somebody's gonna do a check on what we were working on and let me know if it's a go or not. So I'll know probably right after we end this wonderful time together. So it'll let me know if my weekend was bang or bust. So we'll find out.
Right.
All right,
Right, exactly.
Val, the voice. Your weekend. How was your weekend? And do you have pictures?
Oh my gosh. Well, you know what? I have to tell you this and tell everyone, are you enjoying your fall, ladies and gentlemen? If you are not, you should be getting out there. How many, and depending on where you are in the country, now this doesn't apply to Cali, Arizona, the southern part of Texas, Florida. You
So
guys, year
hot.
round, you guys are fine. So, but I got a chance to get out and get to support. I was very happy to get some bike riding in. So, could you just take a look at this gorge picture that I took while bike riding, Michael? Isn't that
Wow.
gorgeous?
Yeah,
Isn't
that's
that
like a
gorgeous?
postcard or something.
I know, I know. Isn't that gorgeous? I mean, I was just really
Yes.
happy about it. So right now, I'm gonna say hello to some folks in the chat. Hey, it's Wise. He is ready to be entertained. That's hilarious. And Mitos, hello, Mitos. Greetings in Texas. Oh my goodness, that is so wonderful. That's right. And the fun begins now. So
That's
what I'm
right now. Yeah.
Mhm. The
Yeah.
fun begins now. So I went to a
Oh,
place
that's
called
beautiful.
Afro Joe's. This is in our Beverly section of Chicago, and it's a black-owned restaurant. I just want to give them a shout out. I met the husband and wife team, and they had their two beautiful daughters there with them that I saw. One a newborn, and one probably
Um,
about 3 or 4 years old.
baby
She was
son.
a helper, which was really wonderful. I thought it was
Mm-hmm.
great. I thought it was great. I had this avocado bread with a cinnamon latte, hot latte. It was delicious,
Okay.
Michael.
Yeah,
So
it was it? Okay.
it was. So I went ahead. I want to say this, Michael. Our mutual friend Sandy, she literally invited me out of the house. I was cleaning the home. I mean, mopping and cleaning and vacuuming and doing laundry.
Uh-huh.
I had turned into my mother, literally. I turned into my mother. And so I'm
You had the
cleaning.
gospel blasting in? You had the gospel going too while you were
No, I didn't
cleaning?
have any of that going. If it was a rerun of Soul Train, it probably would have been
She's been
definitely.
gone for many years. Mahalia Jackson.
Oh my gosh. Hello, Key Palmer. Welcome and thank you for coming by. Oh my goodness. Oh, that's wonderful. Love the logo. Thank you, Wise. Yeah, I think Afro Joe's is, I think, named after someone in their family. I think they were telling me, and they started this
Wasn't
shop
me, huh?
in a different section of Chicago, but they're now in this neighborhood, and it's mixed. So it's not just brothers and sisters. There's everyone, and they really come out and support Afro Joe's. I will definitely be back, and possibly doing an open mic there in a couple of weeks, Michael.
Awesome, right? That I will
Mhm.
have to catch you there. That's not very far from where I am.
Mhm.
Beautiful Beverly neighborhood, which I'm sure would have been wonderful if you were over there doing any riding or walking.
Mhm.
The leaves change.
It's
There,
beautiful.
yeah, Frank Lloyd Wright homes and mansions in that area. I mean, it's beautiful. It's a
And what
beautiful area.
And I want to celebrate this, Michael. I got a chance to get on the bike. If you could take a look at the number that is up there, I did almost 12 miles.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane and uncalled for.
No.
But how did you feel afterwards?
I felt rejuvenated, and then I needed a drink. No, I'm playing. I
Did you feel like you were still riding the bike? Because that's how I always felt when I rode a bike. Right as soon
Mhm.
as I got off, I felt like my legs still wanted to keep turning, although
I
there were no pedals.
Yeah, and I wanted to keep pedaling as well, definitely. I was really excited about it, but I just know that because of where I live in the country, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know how many more warm days. Over the weekend
Get
here
none.
in the Shy, it got up to
None.
79 degrees, Michael. Did you get outside to see any of that 79?
I was near a window and that looked nice. I think I saw some things. I saw things. I see things.
Okay.
I think so, there was that. But you were out in it. You got
Mhm.
in it. Okay. So
Yeah,
that's
so I
that's
I
cool. That's
I
the
was
cool
really
part.
I was really happy about my almost 12 miles on the bike, and I ended up going on the bike again, repeatedly. I did it Saturday, Sunday, and then yesterday. Unfortunately, the bottom is officially falling out as of in tonight, overnight to tomorrow. We had all day. It was
Being
raining
the
and
bottom in terms of weather, right?
weather. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay. We gotta just make sure we
Clarify that what we mean
because
by
I
that.
didn't know if you meant like after that bike ride, that was falling out. Just saying because it could, right?
Yeah, it could. It could. It could definitely be it. But that
Do
I'm
you
just
want some more?
I'm just excited. Now, here's the thing. We're coming to the end of October, so of course, ironically, I don't know if you've seen this yet, Michael, but
What's that?
there are already Christmas commercials, and we haven't even crossed over the burning
Nah,
sands of
I haven't
Halloween.
seen it. Now, you know what's worse?
What?
I've been thinking about Christmas for the last several weeks.
Mhm.
Now, why? Why? The reason is pretty clear. Why?
Mhm.
I mean, okay, so there are lots of jobs for people, so the economy is good in that way, and I'm happy
Mhm.
for folks that want to move around and get jobs, and all of that. But things are still expensive, so I'm thinking like it's gonna take me some extra time to rack up these Christmas gifts that need to be heading out to people, to be under the trees. So I've been thinking about Christmas, Val. I mean, I would normally be the person that makes fun of jumping ahead on holidays, but yeah, I mean, the Christmas countdown has started in my head next week after this holiday, which we'll talk about in just a second after it takes place. You
Mhm.
got a month and what, 2 months? Just 2 months, and then it's Christmas.
It's Christmas, and then we are good gracious.
Nothing is, things are very expensive still. I mean, I don't just, do not get it twisted. I mean, it is. The
I
two things can happen at the same time. Democracy can be on the ballot, but things can also be expensive at the same time. They're not
yeah.
mutually exclusive. So
Y I know. So the thing of it is that there is Halloween that's coming. Halloween is
yes,
around, so
yes, that's the one we are going to
that's the thing,
talk
and
about a little bit.
I as a kid, I remember doing the trick or treat thing. I do remember dressing up and doing, whatever that was, but as an adult, Michael,
Mm-hmm.
Halloween has not been one of those holidays that I'm a fan of. I just and then as
Okay.
I got more and more into, just, reading and studying the Bible and getting very, Bible conscious, I'm just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I wanna do anything celebrating Halloween, but you wanted to give us a heads up about some things, especially the day after Halloween. What
Yeah,
is
I
it
want to talk
called?
about kind of the whole like the 2 day kind of thing. I want to look
Mhm.
at that. So Halloween, everybody knows about that. It's celebrated. It's described now as kind of a secular holiday, meaning that
Mhm.
it's devoid of any kind of attachment to religion. And because of that, it is, the second most popular holiday in our country. And
Mhm.
in terms of commercialism, there's tons of things that are sold that are associated with Halloween. But Halloween is really all souls. It's a time to remember people in your past, and some cultures actually do a better job than others to do that. And the day after Halloween is celebrated in some Christian faiths, especially the Roman Catholic Church, as All Saints Day, and it's a day that
Oh.
we remember people who have lived out their faith in different ways,
Mhm.
and we thank them for that, as setting an example and following the example that you see there in the photo, right? The one in the middle. So
Mhm.
in All Souls Day comes on the second, so it moves from Halloween to All Saints Day to All Souls Day. And in some cultures in Latin and Central America, they celebrate Dia de los Muertos, which is called the Day of the Dead. Oh, that's good. That's a great image. Thanks.
Mhm.
And that's celebrated throughout the Southwest and in some places like California, Texas. Here in Illinois, around Chicago, there are parades and such that happen there. And in this, you can celebrate or at least acknowledge this with your family, which I think in a pretty safe way.
Mhm.
They're two kid-friendly movies. We saw a glimpse of one of them there for just a second. There's Coco, which came
Yeah.
out from Disney Pixar just a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
Coco came out in 2017. It's got wonderful music, just excellent movie music that you expect from a Disney Pixar movie. It has a great story about family, and I would highly recommend it. So, and it's family friendly. It's rated PG. It's got a lot of music in it. So, if your kids like music, or that's something to kind of look forward to. One that was a little bit older that got mentioned there for just a second was Book of Life, which also has a similar theme to it. It kind of celebrates this Latin American expression of kind of family,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
it's not Val. It's not like the things that you see here in the States. When people have these parties, and the best they can do with their costumes is add sexy to them. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? But it's like,
Right.
what are you gonna be? I'm gonna be a nurse. What kind of nurse? A sexy nurse. I'm gonna be a police officer. What kind? A sexy police officer, or a sexy judge, or you know,
Mhm.
a sexy EMT. It's like, what? That's not a costume, really. And in this way, there's also acknowledgement of your elders, those who have passed in your family, and at times you may set up like a shrine in memory of that. That's from Coco. Coco
Mhm.
has some just great music, and
And
so
I
this. these are expressions that you're not familiar with.
Mhm.
This might be a different way to approach Halloween, along with some things I know that we talked about before, probably outside the broadcast, Val, like, where church groups have, they have their own themed events there.
Right.
They set up things for the kids so that they know that the kids are safe. They're not sending them out into neighborhoods that may or may not be safe. So safety is the number one thing, but also kind of like celebrations of culture as well as family. Those are things that you don't normally associate with Halloween, but certainly can be part of this holiday as well.
Right. And what I will say is that we should, if you want to do things for the holiday, and I think it's next Monday, the 31st,
Right.
just be safe. Please, if you have your kids, I'm always, when I was growing up, it was always about some kind of family friendly situation where
Oh yeah.
you would go to a neighbor's home that your parents trusted. That was like very, very important, that was something, it was a trusted home that you went to. And also, in when I lived in New York, I noticed that the parents went with their kids and they would go to stores, and the stores would let you know if they were participating in trick or treating, because they would put a nice sign or something outside of their store saying, "Hey, safe candy is here." And you never want to get candy or apples or anything that's open and loose. Everything should be wrapped. But I know that, Halloween, like many things, was on pause because of the pandemic. But I just wanted to just mention, I'm glad that there are family friendly movies out there. And like I said,
Hmm.
Halloween's not my thing, but I know it's a lot of people love Halloween. So if you're gonna celebrate it, guys, just please be safe. I will say this:
Yeah. Yeah. Go
Kiki
ahead.
Kiki Palmer in the
Yeah.
and Key Palmer in the chat said that prices for gas is just the beginning to hit our pockets. I noticed that the price of gas started to swing up a little bit, so that was really. I'm not very happy about this. And then Mr. Springer reminded us that daylight savings is coming up, and that is the first weekend of November, which is November
Hmm.
6th. So we get an
Yeah.
extra hour of sleep, but then it turns dark at like 3 o'clock.
I want to just mention something really quickly that Mr. Springer, he's always
Mhm,
great, through
mhm.
put into the chat. So just in case some people don't see that, he mentioned Diwali. Yeah,
Yes.
Diwali
Mhm.
started on what was that? There was a ceremony in the White House, but it starts the 24th. So it
Okay.
began yesterday,
Mm.
and this was a holiday that I didn't really know a whole lot about until I visited Trinidad many years ago. And that's such a
Ah,
multicultural island nation that, there's significant population that's East Indian there in the Caribbean. So they celebrated what's called the Festival of Lights, and it's celebrated by Hindus, Jains, and Sikh. That's the religion. So
okay.
it's a great, it's wonderful. It's like, it was really interesting because many years ago when I was there, it looked, Val, to me, because I wasn't that aware of it, it looked like people just had their Christmas lights out early. Okay. But it is its own celebration. There was plenty of roti to go around. There was this great food.
Roti?
I like, yeah, roti. Yeah, I
Roti.
love
Alright.
I like Indian food. I know not everyone does, but cumin and just the spices and just the everything about it. So it is this celebration, and it is also in places where it's celebrated. Of course, it has a religious context to it, but it's also as a cultural thing where people are very welcoming, and they bring you in, and they are very generous, and in that ways it reminds me of that same spirit that we have here around Christmas time. So I do want to mention that, to if people are celebrating Diwali, certainly great, awesome. we're here for you. Yeah, Brody is the Brody. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's roti.
delicious. Yeah, it's
Yeah, and
delicious there. Yeah. Okay. Well,
roti is the bomb
mm,
according to
let's
Keith.
stop. Let me
He
stop
loves it.
thinking about it because then I want to eat something. You're gonna make me hungry. Gonna make
Oh
me
my god.
hungry. I'm trying not to get hungry.
Now
All right.
I need to mention this because I was a little sad and
Okay.
disappointed when the news came out a little bit earlier on today. I'm waiting for the pictures to come up. Oh boy,
Okay.
where are you pictures? There's a break. Okay, there we go.
Okay.
The Russian court rejects Brittany
Brittany.
Grinder's appeal of a 9-year sentence. A Moscow court rejected Brittany Grinder's appeal, and unfortunately, they are going to be keeping her in jail. This is nuts, and
Absolutely.
I'm trying to figure out because everyone is pretty much stating the same. I think
Mm-hmm.
definitely the Secretary of State as well as our president. They're
Yeah, Anthony
trying to keep
Blinken.
the
Yeah.
communication lines open. I believe the National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan said in a statement, "We
Mm-hmm.
are aware about the news out of
Right.
Russia about Brittany, and we will continue to be. She continues to be wrongfully detained under intolerable
Absolutely.
circumstances, and having to undergo another sham judicial proceeding, which is
Right.
nuts." Um, right
Yeah.
now, it's a little early, but we want to go ahead and bring in the coach. And I see him that he is about ready. Oh, let me go ahead and give him his theme music. Okay, here we go. I got
Man,
really
bring that
excited.
beat back.
I got excited. I want to play
He
it
said,
again.
"Bring that
Hey,
beat
Mike,
back.
bring that beat back.
Bring that beat back." 1, 2, 3, go hit it.
Bring that beat back.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Coach Tony. That's what Mr. Senior
Woo!
says.
Coach
Woo!
Tony. I know where the Terradome was yesterday. It was Gillette Stadium. Woo!
Man, welcome to the Terror Dome, baby.
Welcome to the Terradome. Patriots had no way. Well, they were not expecting that one.
Hey, the great part about did you see the fog on the field last night, Mike? I was really shocked about that.
Yeah.
It was the game. It was, even though it was in the rain, it was a lot of fog. Even though it was a lot of rain, it was a lot of fog in the game last night. I was really surprised, but it's better than playing in the snow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's probably the second best victory the Bears have had over the Patriots since they won the Super Bowl.
And maybe it had something. Wait. Maybe it had something to do with this gentleman showing up with Peyton, the Mannings.
Obama.
He good luck. He good luck
Hey.
charm. He's a good luck charm for real.
Well, let me say this: Obama up north, but down south is Obama.
Obama. Well, I mean, well, lately it's been Tennessee, but you know how that goes. Wow.
Right.
He
I
had the quarter zip on too, Coach. He knows the Mannings wear the quarter zip, and then Obama comes in with his own quarter zip and outdoes him. It's just
still the show. Come on, man. When I show up at places, man, I gotta steal the show too. Southside.
He comes in the Bears, which one of the most anemic offenses in the NFL, to start scoring. It was like, what happened? Like, can Obama watch every game with the Mannings? Because I would love him just be like, Bears Extra. We got Barack on the sideline. Barack, what are you doing? I don't know. Justin Fields needs to sweep left, I think. All right, thanks, Barack.
Right.
Man, that was amazing.
I tell you what, it was so cool. Did you hear the halftime interview with Justin Fields?
I did.
Tell us.
Yeah, tell us. Yeah.
So you did about. So they asked him what was the difference between, besides getting, a bye week last week and 2 weeks to rest, right? Mm-hmm. He said that he had been looking at film the last 10 days, and he noticed he's been rushing everything, and he noticed he's been standing in the pocket a little longer. And older or younger Fields would get out, be more patient. He was going to slow down, let the game come to him. He felt he did a great job of doing that. Boom, and there you go.
Wow.
So I mean, I wish we could give him 10 days on every game, which we can't. Unfortunately, you know, speaking of massive rest, I mean, they're coming up against the Cowboys, who've got Dak Prescott back.
That's going to be a big game spread for me. And I don't mean the sidetrack. When you guys came in, Val, thank you so much about the Brittany Griner story. You know me, women's basketball, it means so much to me, his home. And unfortunately, the only comment I want to make is that if she would accept that contract to play for Russia, Brittany would be home. That's the only thing I don't like about it. You know, I think they're using her as a pawn on a chessboard. Dennis Rodman, was trying to swap places with her and do the prison time, and they said no. I think it's absolutely insane. And unfortunately, the name of the business and how it goes, that's what happened.
Yeah, and Val, I want to give kudos as well, because here's the thing, and I talk to students about this in terms of media. It's called agenda setting. So right now, the rest of the media, outside of what you're doing here, is kind of forgotten about her. She's no longer the first story or the second story. So she has slipped, and because of that slippage, then there's less pressure on it. And I don't want us to lose sight of the fact that this person is losing their liberty sitting in a cell, as Coach said. Pretty much, they're trying. I mean, what term do you have it for? They were trying to force her hand to sign a contract to play a sport for them, and then we'll let you out of jail if you sign our contract. Talk about difficult negotiations.
And they weren't going. And don't forget, Mike, to put icing on it, they were going to negotiate and have her play, and she couldn't get paid. So you're going to play.
It's involuntary servitude, which depending on where you live, is on the ballot. Check out the elections coming up. At least in 5 states, slavery is on the ballot. Involuntary servitude, that is still part of course, we know one of our amendments is still there. They put you in jail, and everybody's like, "Oh, criminals." Yeah, but she's in jail, and she's not a criminal. So rightly or wrongly, people lose their liberty, and they really should not. And we gotta be more open-minded about this. So thank you again, Val, that you have reminded us of where she is and where she should be.
Yeah, because I don't know if you all realize it. She spent her 32nd birthday in jail. She just turned 32 earlier this month, and
what a memory that's going to be, right? And I think she just passed her anniversary with a wife. So when she gets out, look at the scar. You're talking about the years. If this continues, the career is obviously over, right? She can nowhere near stay in shape for 10 years in prison, man. I don't care who does that.
Would you, Coach? Would you want to?
No.
I mean, and you love the game, but I mean, I think if you get out of prison, the last thing that's on your mind is playing again, right?
I think that she becomes a Colin Kaepernick on steroids, basically the new generation, activist. You know what I mean?
God willing, yeah,
God willing. Things happen out that way, but I just knock on wood, keep praying. We keep doing what we got to do, try to get my girl home. And on that. And speaking of that, to pivot real quick, I was talking to Val. Oh, let me throw something in here real quick, Mike, before we go on.
Okay.
Val, Mrs. Thinking Forget Me Not.
Okay, who that?
Patrice Rushen. That's who that is.
Okay, Patrice Rushen. Okay, all right.
Come on.
I got a chance to catch Val on the YouTube doing a Patrice Rushen dance. Mike, she's dancing to Patrice Rushen. Oh, yeah. Right there, Val.
So Coach told us about a documentary that is currently on Netflix called The Redeem Team. And
thank you, because I wouldn't have found it any other way, and I got to watch it this afternoon.
Me too.
Tremendous, absolutely tremendous. And And then the thing I want to point out on here, Mike, I was talking to Val about, and a lot of people may not know. Do you know this is the last major thing that Kobe was in?
Wow.
Yeah.
So this not only becomes a documentary, but this becomes a valuable documentary because it's the last documentary that Kobe was presented in, and it was a positive one. And do you know we had 6 losses from the Dream Team during the time frame of trying to pull together the Redeem Team, of which Kobe was in that 2004 and got drugged and beat. So as he came back, to compete, they were looking at, who can I bring back? LeBron was on that team as well. They got drugged, and they elected and they called Kobe, and Kobe said the only way I'll come back is if you guys are serious about playing. And there go the triple duo right there with D Wade, Kobe, and LeBron.
And one thing I was really admiring is how they brought on a ex-military, the coach of Duke, Coach K, and how he literally brought in other military to talk about teamwork, and that they started the training years before the actual play. And D Wade said, it got to my heart, and then they had the headsets on from a gentleman, a soldier who lost his sight from shrapnel and was still serving. And they were showing D talk about it. The other thing was very funny was Kobe practicing earlier than everybody. And
5:30 in the morning.
So they went to a party and they came back. It was 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and Kobe was on his way to the gym. And I think Carmelo Anthony was really fun. He was like, 4 o'clock is just still too early for me.
Right. Still, hey, I don't care. Hey, I can make 100 million. It's still too early for me. That's why I got this little belly. But something, Val, you hit it right on the head. I didn't know that piece. And the crazy part about it was, and Mike, I don't know if that touched you as well, but think about it. You're sitting there, and as the commander said, you guys are getting an opportunity to play a game, whereas our game is saving lives on the battlefield, dodging bullets in bunkers, carrying guys and soldiers on our shoulders wounded. Guys like this who lost their eyesight still want to serve. And you guys are at home on your soil, and you're heroes making anywhere between 100 more times more dollars than I'm making, if the world and the United States even respect me when I get home. And you guys are considered to be heroes. So that touched me so greatly. And to see LeBron and see D Wade sit there, and he actually shed a tear, and then to be there and speak to that soldier and then go out and practice every day, it was a whole nother level. And I think Kobe embellished it so much because he grew up obviously in Europe, right? Mike, he came over, and then he came to the United States. And I think the precedence was when he said, hey, we got to go get this back. I was on the team that got embarrassed, and I know the first play they're going to run, I'm going to run right through Paul Gasol's chest. Boom. And they said, damn, that supposed to be your boy. They're like me walking up to Mike and just punching him in the head when I see him. I thought that was your boy.
That's how you knew he wanted to win. Right there. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. Please share. So we're talking about the Redeem Team, which is a documentary on Netflix right now. It's something that you may have overlooked. It didn't get the same hype as some other recent documentaries, but it is really excellent. And as Coach said, one of the things that comes across, well, I'll tell you 2 things that came across to me just briefly. Two of those, only one of those men in that picture is somebody I really like and admire, and he's on the right-hand side. The other 2 were, neither one of those were any way near my favorite basketball players. In fact, I just like them.
I got to hear this, Val. I got to hear this, Val.
Me too. I'm leaning in.
When I look at in that picture, as I look at in the middle, I look at carbon copy of Michael Jordan, and then I look at bigger carbon copy of Michael Jordan. And I gotta say, watching the Redeem Team what I saw was these two individuals, independent. They never mentioned MJ, which I think is one of the kind of the really strong parts of this documentary. It talks about pretty much this next generation of players and what they're like and how they approach things. And you forget and may, you know, he rest in power, the influence that Kobe Bryant had on a whole generation. Because of his absence now, and because he retired and so many things, he's kind of, and I hope not, easily forgotten, you know, by another generation coming in. They'll still see LeBron, right? You still see D Wade because he has, you know, this kind of celebrity status with his family and social media and such. But Black Mamba, my goodness, I have a whole new kind of respect for him. And it's developed over the last years through the business things that he was doing, through some of his work in film. You know, setting out, first movie he makes gets an Oscar. I mean, you know, just some of the ways that he had his kind of commitment to excellence. And then you see the family shows up, you know, there at times. They wish him happy birthday. And you can see this kind of genuine kind of love and joy of the game, which, I mean, maybe as kind of a jaded Chicago Bulls fan, somebody grew up with Jordan, I didn't recognize that in Kobe. But I certainly see it on display here. And credit to him, credit to LeBron and Maverick for kind of putting this project together with NBA Entertainment, because it really does serve as this bridge to this next generation of superstars, right? The Ja Morant's coming, the Zion's coming, the people that are, you know, making the impact now. And they at some point, coach, I mean, they got to continue it. I mean, if it's USA basketball, then USA basketball's got to continue on now that Coach K has retired. Now that we've lost Kobe, you know, LeBron, D Wade, these players, you know, they can't represent the same way. Is this next generation going to step up in the same way and make sure that championship stays? You know, the U.S. continues to be the home of basketball. What are your thoughts on that?
I tell you one thing, man. You know why I love you, man? You like me. You gonna be Chicago. You gonna be Chi-Town all day, every day.
Yeah, it's real. Yeah, exactly.
I was not a Kobe fan, and a lot of my guys used to get on me. I didn't like Kobe either. I didn't. Let me explain myself, you know, real quick, so people start jumping all on me on social media. I didn't like Kobe from the fact that when Kobe came in the league, a lot of people don't remember the disrespect to Jordan that Kobe gave Jordan after that couple games, you know, early on. And when Mike tried to check him about, you know, you walk around chewing gum like me, walk like me, swag like me, talk like me, do your interviews like me. And then Kobe had a couple of smart things. Instead of saying, hey, basically, you know, I'm trying to be like you, blah, 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 blah. He was like, man, I'm like my dad. He's like, Butterbean. Man, come on, man. Butterbean averaged 2 points a game.
Yeah, and then they froze him out of that All-Star game, right, Coach?
Exactly. So after that, the reality set in, and then all of a sudden, what a lot of people don't know, as you know, based on the interviews and what Mike said, Kobe gave him a call. He flew out to LA. When Phil got there, and he sat down, and him and Kobe had a long cup of coffee, basically, and he was there to visit Phil. And Kobe and him, you know, sit down and got on the same page, of which Kobe asked him, by the way, did you bring your shoes? He's like, man, I ain't know I was supposed to. I was just out here visiting Phil. So Michael respected him and took the apology and then basically brought him under his sleeve as his little brother. That's why it meant so much when he passed away. When people thought Jordan, quote unquote, had some crazy negative stuff to say, Mike had nothing negative to say, but the positive things and how Kobe had changed, not only as a player, but changed Mike as a person. Right. And man, that was phenomenal. And you see it in the video, as Val said, you know, these guys are going out partying and kicking. It's easy to do that, Val, because, right, they're superstars, right?
Exactly.
But did you see, even though they went out and kicked it and they were who they were, who did the Chinese folks gravitate to? Kobe. In the stands, in the streets, in the parliament, in the park. He couldn't even get in the arena without 8, 9, 10, 12 police officers clearing a path for him.
Right.
You know, and he basically told them, hey, I'm good. Don't do that. I want to be out here with the people. And he wanted people to touch him. And man, I thought that was just excellent. And then he brought that And the moment, like you said, Val, when he went to work out, what happened 2 days later, Val? Everybody
They
started working
started
out.
following the workout regime. So I definitely want to say it's the same filmmakers that did The Last Dance. That was a wonderful series that premiered kind of in the part of the pandemic. But just wanted to give you guys the heads up. The Redeem Team is available for streaming on Netflix. It
Yeah, if you
shows
like The
like a
Last Dance, this
documentary.
is something
You
you'll
like The Last
appreciate
Dance?
this. And this is much shorter. It's just one movie, so start to finish, it just takes you can appreciate it. It doesn't take up a whole week of your life.
And you definitely
Exactly.
go. And speaking of The Last Dance, by the way, Mr. Springer, well, with my boy Mark and Jay Wise and B and all that. Hey, as Coach told you last week, for promotional purposes only,
Here we go.
Astros and the Phillies, baby. If you want to put your promotional opportunities
Yeah.
down, you were rewarded nicely.
Yeah, it's the Astros and the Phillies. It's the series where I just hope the Astros don't win. I mean, that's about as emotionally involved as I can be in this one. Is just the hate that I continue to have for the Astros.
Hey, I tell you what, right there on that picture. Hold that picture right there, Val. Keep that right there.
Yes,
when you looking at Villander, obviously, Mike, you and I know I got hatred there because the Sox should have never given him up, right? So never met Chicago.
Yeah.
Boo, boo, boo. So now everybody that leaves Chicago in some freaking fashion end up with a ring on their finger, right? Enough said about that.
Seems like it, yeah.
Now, the only recourse that I think that Philly's got is if Bryce Harper can come to play. This will be his first ring. If he can kind of really play real good, I just don't think that the Phillies got enough in the bullpen to hold off these boys, man, because I just really think that, Astros is too deep for them right now.
Yeah, but Coach, I mean, how many world championships does Dusty Baker have?
I love it. Shot-town, Dusty Baker.
I mean,
on the north side.
so I mean, this will be his first. So I don't know. I've always been a Bryce Harper fan. I mean, somewhere among the nonsense around here is a Washington Nationals hat. Bryce Harper and Soto, those are my guys. That was my National League team for a long time.
Right.
So I wish that I hated that they were on opposite sides trying to get to the World Series. I know Soto's got his hardware. This might be Bryce Harper's time. I mean, he is.
I think that these boys. You said the magic word right there, and I know Val a big time when it comes to a lot of our underlings in terms of our minorities getting an opportunity. And I think right now these guys are going to play because they Dusty don't have too many more times around, Mike. You know that as well as I do.
Yeah, I mean, right. Yeah, go ahead.
And I think these boys are going to play their butts off to put him up on that pedestal, baby, and let him walk that field, put him on their shoulder. And I'm going to just tell you, I got the Astros in 6.
Okay.
6.
Oh,
okay.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I think that makes sense to me. And I think that if the Phillies do take it, it'll be a surprise. It's not going to be a hard fought thing. It's just they're going to jump out and just kind of take over and surprise everybody, surprise the Astros at the start.
And they've been a surprise team. They're the 6th seed, right? So you're the 6th seed.
They're not supposed to be there.
Exactly.
They're really not supposed to be there.
And if I'm a coach, that's what I'm telling my team. If I'm coaching that team, I'm telling them that you don't supposed to be here. So It doesn't matter what you do. If you lose, you're supposed to lose. So the best thing you can do is go out and do what? My favorite phrase. Yeah. Shock the world and surprise yourself.
And that's a Philly thing. I mean, I hate to give Philly love because I don't. But that's a Philly thing. I mean, just several years ago with the Philadelphia Eagles, the same thing. Like there was no reason that team was supposed to be in the Super Bowl, but once they got there, opportunity to win, and they did. So I mean, the fact that the Phillies are there in the World Series means that they have that opportunity to win. And I think if they steal that first game, it's going to turn everything upside down because I can see that team upsetting the Astros. I feel like the Astros just strike me as a team like at the beginning of the year when they were beating the snot out of the White Sox. It's like this team's going to the World Series. Like they're undeniable. They're going to the World Series. Now the only question was, can they win once they get there? And I'm not sure. Okay.
I think they can.
For promotional purposes, I mean, it makes sense to go do whatever coach is telling y'all. Please.
Nice compliment. Nice compliment to you, Coach. And Michael, I love that y'all know about B-ball. Seriously.
Key, Miss Palmer, Key Palmer. Hey, Key, when you put that on there, I'm gonna send this as Mike says on the pivot move. Key, I want you guys gonna drop this to the audience. Kevin, put this out here, Springer. I want to know from the audience, who are they looking? First week is under our belt, Mike, right? We know Golden State played well, but
of course they did.
Who did I tell you is going to be a surprise team? Didn't I not tell you about them San Antonio Spurs?
You did.
I told you them Spurs, and they've been a surprise team. And I'm going to tell you somebody else. Your boys that you were in town, Sacramento, 4-0. Ho, 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 ho. Who expected that?
I don't. I mean, that's so frustrating. No, that's a frustrating team. I mean, I can't start investing much in the Sacramento. They still got Fox. I mean, they just. Oh man.
But you got two sides now. You got Fox and a rookie on the other side shooting that rock. But you know what another thing for promotional purposes on, I told him, Val, my rookie of the year, Pal Banchera, now put up numbers as a Hall of Famer, becoming the first rookie since Grant Hill in 1993 to average 20 and 10 through his first 4 games. That's scary. And then, Mike, did you see your boy Jabari Smith get into it with what's his name on the sideline in Houston already? Oh, we got problems. Houston, we got problems, Houston. Yeah, him and Jalen Green got into almost a shoving match, man. With Houston, we got problems.
So I know it's early, Coach. I know it's really early in the NBA. However, one thing that you and I kind of talked about last time we were together here for Interludes Extra Talk on Tuesday was this idea that these teams want to. There's some teams out there that they trying, because it's early in the season. But I think in a week or two, Coach, they gonna stop trying. And Adam Silver is already aware that this is happening early. That there is interest in the kid we call the alien already, and he's telling teams that, hey, you're not going to be rewarded for throwing games or trying to tank this year. Don't think that it's going to pay off and you're going to get that draft pick, because that kid can change a franchise. He can change.
Here's the question to you, Mike. Here's the question to you. I'm going to throw this. I'm going to boomerang as Eddie Murphy and Halle Berry. The boomerang. How do you stop that? How do you
stop somebody from tanking?
Yes. Because if you tank, you got to think about it.
I'm not a lawyer and I'm not the commissioner, so thank goodness. But obviously, it's on his mind, so he's got to have. Because here's the problem with it, Coach. In past years, if they tanked and they tried to get number one, which they're gonna do. I mean, it's just gonna. I mean, fast forward 70 games. That's what's like. Oh, that's gonna be the real question. Is like, who's going to lose enough to get the number one pick? But when you do that now, Coach, you got the NBA league in bed with for promotional purposes.
Well, here's the hard part about it, Mike.
Money. So now you got money being lost on teams that you are pretty darn sure don't want to win. So I can see why Silver's addressing this now, because that could potentially be a huge problem.
You got to. One thing is these boys right here, these Bulls right here, baby. We will not be tanking, right? That's for sure.
No. That's fighting.
And the crazy part about it is a big win last night over the Celtics. Must I say, tipped his hat, Chi-Town. Again, I would say wait until All-Star break. at the All-Star break, when we come on that Tuesday and we talk about the All-Star and what happened, whoop-de-whoop-de-woo over the weekend, you will have a good idea as to who's going to be tanking, because 82 games is a long season in the NBA. And you now added, right? You now added that new play-in, right? That's the brand new format since a couple of years ago. So now, instead of 16 teams, you got 20. So by the All-Star break, you can circle 12 teams, 6 on both sides, and you can almost figure out the 4. Not 1 and 2, but 4 teams that are tanked, because the first, second, third, and fourth draft picks are the only ones that go in the lottery ball. You know that.
Yes.
So you can figure out the bottom 2 teams in the East and the bottom 2 teams in the West, and who's going to try to tank to get this young man. And which goes back to my point I was telling you last week. There's no way in the world he's going to New York, because the Knicks are not going to be in the bottom of the barrel.
They won't have first draft pick. Okay.
I know what you're saying.
Unless there's a trade, pal. Unless there's a trade.
What you're saying, but I mean, the Dolan still has that team, doesn't he?
Oh,
Dolan still has that team, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, I'm just saying, you know, I saw the Knicks come out the gate. And I mean, were you impressed? Because I wasn't.
Ooh,
I wasn't impressed
early on.
But here's the thing, though, Mike.
They're not going to get better, Coach.
If they tank, then here's what I got to ask you. By midseason, by All-Star game, expect my questions coming at you to ask you, who are you getting rid of?
Wow. And that's the All-Star break is when?
Yeah, All-Star break battle will be in February.
Okay.
You mean who are the Knicks getting rid of?
Wait a minute.
You would have to figure out, and you think
everybody. Now, if they think they can get the alien, then who would everybody?
But here's the thing.
Dolan will drive a bus and just tell the whole team, get on.
I got you. Here's the thing, Mike, and I'm glad you got these people listening. Spring, I hope you put this out there. Obviously, press the subscribe, but you got what's called contracts. And because of contracts, you can't get rid of people. So therefore, because you got brand new contracts that are just signed, 2 weeks
contracts, right?
2 years in, 1 year in, you got to dump some bench. And I don't think they're. If I get the alien, I'm not taking your bench. I'm not taking your bench. I don't want him. I can build my own freaking bench.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're gonna get rid of everybody, whatever team it is. I'm not saying it's the Knicks, but I just have a feeling it's gonna be New York. Okay, because I'm looking around at bad teams in huge markets where there's lots of money to be quickly generated, and New York wins. I mean, the Lakers are not that bad. The Clippers aren't that bad, but they're trying tonight, though. They're trying to be pretty bad tonight, right now. But they're going
Clippers Final Four.
All right. Well, here, Michael.
I agree.
Michael, let me jump in. So Keith says that the Knicks need a lot of structural improvements. And what did she say here? How about get rid of the people they are not playing right in their position, like number one player that should be playing number one position.
Well, yeah, Keith, you can't do that. Here's the reason why, Keith. I love you, and this is why I want to go out to the audience so I can make sure we get everybody's question. You can't do that when you just signed a $300 million contract with Jalen Brunson, who's coming in at the point guard position. You're not going to take the ball out of my hand, and you still got a rookie in R.J. Barrett, who's still worth $250 million running the deuce, and you still can't do that because you got Randall in the middle who's worth $300 million. So 3 of your players are worth $900 million. Can't do that.
That's wow. I mean, when you think when you say that out loud, Coach, it just sounds so stupid, doesn't it? Correct. I mean, it really does.
It does.
Because here's the thing, and I no disrespect, Val, when I say that to you as a casual fan, Val, the voice has not heard of these players you just mentioned, Coach, and you racked up $900 million. You doing something wrong. You're doing something wrong if that's what you do.
And Mike, that's her second city, New York, and I just told her.
Right. Neither one of those people is named Ja or Morant. So you have done something wrong here.
Correct.
If you spent $900 million on
Three
those
people.
dudes,
3 people.
no,
And you don't even know who they are.
right. That's why I'm telling you, he's gonna get a truck and load it up and drive them to wherever it is that he can.
He may, hey Mike,
I don't
he ain't
know
gonna get no
where.
truck. You
He's
forget, Mike,
man enough to take them.
he'll cross the water. So you mean load a boat up?
Detroit? Who's
He
bad
gonna
enough
load a
to
boat
take
up. He got
the
to,
Knicks nonsense, the mess on their team? Coach,
hey,
who's bad enough? Who's bad enough right now that would gladly take what the Knicks have?
nobody.
Exactly.
Nobody.
And
Not even the Pistons.
definitely not the Bulls.
There you go, pal. Definitely not the Bulls, baby.
Yeah, and
No,
Wise
not
just
the
said the coach dropped the mic. He is 100%.
Oh,
Well, yeah,
there you go, Jay Wise.
he just added up $1 billion worth of hot dumpster
Oh, wow.
fire. I mean,
All right. Well, and you know what? It's exciting. The weeks will continue on with the NBA, and Coach, we'll definitely have to check in when the All-Star break happens in February.
yeah, I'm just interested in all these other things because I know the Golden State's gonna win the championship again this year. So everything else is just more interesting to me that it revolves around the game.
The shade of it all. Of it all.
Val, that's why I love Mike as my sidekick. We're gonna be on all season. I love it. Hey, and make sure again you subscribe and you tune in because not only with the NBA, as of next week, what do we do, Mike? I'm gonna drop you the college NCAA. I'm gonna do a breakdown for those who love college basketball next week. We're going to talk about college basketball next week. We're going to get it popping, baby, like some Orville Redenbacher in a popcorn machine. Pop, pop, pop.
All right, guys. We thank you so very much, Coach. He'll be back next week.
You know my words. And I'm out.
And he's out. All right. Thank you so much, Coach. Wow. Oh, my goodness. Yo, wow. Man.
I mean, you got to keep yourself entertained. You know, that's all I'm saying is we just know who the NBA champions are for this year. As long as they stay healthy, it's the Warriors. So, I mean, now I'm thinking about draft choices, other things that are also interesting.
It's a lot of shade. No one else is going to come win. Just shade.
Look, hey, if you follow baseball at the very beginning of the year, I kid you not, and you can check in with somebody because Coach Tony knows at the very beginning of the season, you knew the Astros were going to go to the World Series. That team, nobody was going to stop that team from getting there. Now, if they win, they win. If they don't, they still got there. There was no denying it. That's how I look at the Warriors. It's theirs to lose, okay?
All right.
Well, to those.
Here's the thing. What are you going to be talking about on tomorrow? That's what we want to know.
What am I going to be talking about? Well, like I said,
next week, a lot of people are going to the polls to vote. So,
that's a really good topic. And here's the thing. What I'm going to talk about tomorrow is this. People are waiting for what they call election day. There used to be a time, Val, that like election day was the start and finish of voting. Now it's just the finish. It has started, and depending on where you are, you can avoid the lines and the headache and the nonsense and the people standing outside watching with guns and camouflage to watch you do stuff. You can go now. Go now. You're needed, okay? Don't mess around and have your car not stop, or you miss the bus that day, or you go to the wrong polling place. Go now. Make a plan to try to vote immediately, okay? We'll talk a little bit more about that tomorrow. #Wamble Wednesday.
#Wamble Wednesday. So, guys, go ahead. We are celebrating over 100 episodes of Interludes. We stream every Tuesday here on our YouTube channel, our Facebook private group fan base, and LinkedIn under Pure Lighthouse Media. And now we're available on Pod TV Roku channel. If you would like to become a sponsor on our platform, book time with us at linktr.ee/Pure Light Media. And Mr. Wamble, what's your name?
My name is not Val the Voice Johnson, but yours is. And this has been Interlude Extra Talk on Tuesday with Val the Voice Johnson. Woohoo! All right.
Thank you guys for joining us. And we're out. Peace.